to a 15-second introduction of Barry Stamos. Barry is a Silicon Valley tech entrepreneur who's exited from several companies, and before he got his current gig as CEO of Supernova, which works with exiting owners or exiting founders in trying to make the world a better place. Barry is a husband and father to two boys, and Barry and I are friends as our kids play soccer together, and I've gotten to know Barry over the last few years, and so it is my distinct pleasure to welcome to the stage Barry Stamos.
Thank you, thank you. All right, yes. Can I hear yes? Yes, it feels good to hear yes. It feels good to say it, feels good to hear it. We're here to talk about work-life success. Yeah? Yes, yes. All right. So I want to just open up with all of you, in addition to having the opportunity to choose to be a founder, which for me has been a real platform for growth. Being a father, being a son, I've learned so much along the way. And my North Star is becoming a better human being. And what I found is that there's a direct correlation to what I can do and the choices that I make and how conscious I am to recognize and recalibrate. And in so doing, I'm able to learn from myself, from others, and who I surround myself with and where I choose to accept in advice matters tremendously. And so I've had the good fortune and pleasure of being able to learn from some of the top performers in the world. Yes, they have been some producers, some elite athletes, some billionaires, some incredible founders, some gifted CEOs and leaders. And I would say most importantly, I've learned from my family and spirits seen and unseen. And I'm really excited to share with all of you today some of those lessons, because on this heroic journey that we're all on as we walk this path of life, I find that the circles that we keep and the lessons that we learn and the wisdom that we share, it can make all the difference in the world. And so this talk is going to get deep and personal, and I really invite you to lean in and listen and really let in what's true for you. And without further ado, I'm going to jump right into our current reality. Yeah, the lessons that you've let in, the choices that you've made, they're a direct reflection right now of where you are today. I have an incredible mentor that's no longer with us. His name is Cyril Matter. Cyril, I met in San Francisco when I was a tech founder there, starting my first company, which we took public and exited to Oracle. Cyril, literally his last name is Matter, so like that all makes sense now, was my Tuesdays with Morrie, for those of you that have read that book. We used to meet on Sundays, and I remember asking Cyril, who was a teacher at Berkeley. He had dual PhDs. He had a PhD in quantum physics and a PhD in theology, so like stood at the crossroads of spirituality and science. And I'd ask him tons of questions, and I'll never forget asking him, Cyril, do you believe in fate? Do you believe in destiny? Is it written in the stars? Or do we have the free will to drive like our own life's course and path? And he just looked at me and just sighed and laughed and said, Barry, the most important things that will happen in your life are just going to happen. And he started to kind of walk through how he met his wife, his major accident, how he found his dream job after many failed attempts. He said, relax and trust. Trust that those big things are going to go your way, that the universe does, in fact, have your back. He says, your job is to fill the details of the day. So make good choices. And I remember when he said that, it just gave this I don't know, I can't even describe it. It was like this incredible weight was almost lifted off my shoulders in a way. Because I was like, okay, yeah, this is all going to work out. It's all good. And let's talk about those choices I get to make and filling the details of the day with good ones. So according to Cornell and many scientists, we make 35,000 decisions every day. I mean, no wonder we're so exhausted, right? At the end of the day, my goodness. And many of those choices we make intentionally. Most we don't make intentionally. Those are subconscious decisions. It's programmed into our routines, our rituals. I don't know about you, but when I go to a restaurant, it's like, what's the special? Yeah, I'll have that. One less decision to make. Or when I'm on Amazon Choice. Yeah, if everybody else says it's good, it's good for me. Well, not all decisions are good for you. Yeah, we get to make more conscious choices. There's certain ones that are in complete alignment with what it is you're actually truly calling in. And there's others that we get to say no to and create some real barriers on and around. And so what I want to do with you is I want to share with you a framework, an operating system, if you will, that can fundamentally transform your life and how you get to transform others in miraculous ways. And so these are the 8 dimensions of wellness and well-being. And I just want you to kind of take them in right now at a high level and just acknowledge that each one of these dimensions individually can supercharge your reality. And each one correlates to another. There's a symbiotic effect that each one will have on each of these others that can absolutely profoundly change your life and those around you. And there are masters. There are folks that have mastered each of these levels. And I've seen very few harness all of them in wholeness. And truth be told, I've experienced that. Yeah, I mean, as a startup founder, I was self-made and in my early 20s worked tirelessly to build my first company and achieve financial success. But I was spiritually bankrupt. Yeah, I lost myself in the process. I became more machine than man. I was numb. I couldn't love. I mean, it cost me a divorce. Yeah, I mean, you pay the price for not having the awareness that all of these things matter. It creates wholeness. Some would say holiness. And so I'm going to invite us to take a journey, a heroic journey, as we dive into each of these individually so we can both individually and collectively take these on. So I want you to, or rather I would invite you to, quick self-assessment, yeah? And I don't overthink this. We're pretty good at pointing out ourselves and the flaws that are in ourselves. We're sometimes harder to be kind to ourselves, interestingly. But pick one. Pick one that you believe on, like maybe a rating scale of 1 to 10 might not be above a 5 today. And know that also we are perfectly imperfect. We're human beings who are doing our best. And so sometimes we'll over-index in one area and then, as a result, significantly under-index in another. So once you have one, does everyone have one? If you could raise your hand when you've got one. We can all raise our hands. Yeah? All right, good. Thank you. So I'm going to pick one, and I'm going to pick out the social dimension. So socially, we moved here 2 years ago from Miami, and the decision was for our family, knowing we could raise our boys here in Charleston, and that was a big move. And we were socialites in Miami. I mean, every week there were events popping. We had people coming to visit every other weekend. We were entertaining. When we moved here, we knew no one sans family here, and so that dropped from, I would say, a 9 to a 4. And that was a big gap in my life. And all that changed for me and my family when we met Michael and Philip. And that was when my son tried out for the Land Shark soccer team. Yeah? And not only did we realize we were playing for a winning team, but through the families of this team, I instantly created bonds, and they became really close friends, and we instantly had community. And so my social score, if you will, elevated substantially. Enough about me. How about my son? I mean, my son Nico, who in Miami, I don't know if you guys know Miami sports, but for soccer, I mean, there's a lot of Latin American families. And so my son was at the kind of bottom of the barrel in Miami with the Juventus League. And when he came here through the, coaching of Michael and Philip, he leveled up physically, emotionally, socially. There were many dimensions where my son got to level up. And so don't ever underestimate the potential or influence or impact that one person can make on another person's life, especially when they're coming from love. And I do want to just, because I have all of you here, acknowledge, I mean, Michael and Philip are just incredible, and I've watched them put so much of their heart into this program with the Land Sharks. I can only imagine how blessed all of you are. And so, thank you guys. I also want to just acknowledge too that, it can be such a gift to give what just comes naturally through you to others. And so I want you guys, if you would, please, I'm going to invite you again to consider for a moment. Close your eyes, please. I'd invite you to close your eyes. Think of the one dimension in your life where you happen to have scored yourself perhaps on a lower rating. And imagine for a moment one person that is in your circle. It could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be a coworker, it could be a leader, it could be a client, it could be a coach, it could be an advisor. And imagine calling them in, and imagine asking for support, and imagine what they do so naturally, so effortlessly, so miraculously and magically. Perhaps they could guide you and help you through leveling up in that regard. And now I want you to let that go. And now I want you to imagine you showing up for someone else in that way. Yeah? Gifting them something that comes effortlessly, naturally. It flows from, to, and through you. It's such a gift that you have as a superpower. And imagine sharing that with someone around you that's also calling that in. And now please open your eyes. And now I want you guys to look around at one another. Please, we're all friendly here, yeah? I mean, this is a circle. Yeah, we're all doing our best individually. And let me tell you the power of what can happen when we come together collectively. I am standing on the shoulders of giants. And so by taking time for myself, by taking time for others, and supporting them on their hero's journey, I've gotten to places that I would have never gotten to. And that's not my primary motivation, but let me tell you, that's the power of community. So we're going to jump into each of these dimensions, and I'm going to share just a quick highlight of some of the things that have been standouts for me, and I really hope that they are for you. So we're going to begin with emotional awareness, okay? Yeah, emotional intelligence, it's a superpower for sales, let me tell you. All right. I think we heard this from Michael earlier on. I know we've all been experienced this over COVID. Learning to be uncomfortable with the uncomfortable, it's a super skill. It's a super skill. I've known many people in my life who worry. Yeah? I can say this, it may or may not make a difference to you, but worrying is worthless. Okay? I can also share with you guys that I'm working with some of the most advanced, incredibly brilliant brains in the AI space today. I've also worked with some of the most advanced technologies on the planet. And yeah, it's going to get interesting, yeah? It's like the relationship status on Facebook. It's complicated. Yeah. It's going to be complicated. And trust with love. It's all good. Why? Because there's people like us that are behind it all, yeah? Good people that are coming through to save the day. I see it every day. I also want to share with you guys one of the biggest factors, and I work with these elite leaders who have achieved incredible success, and you can't imagine how much they suck dealing with stress. Yeah? By the way, I do too. And just like my youngest son, Nico, who plays for the soccer team, yeah, it took me a while to convince him that there was nothing in his closet when I shut the light off, putting him to bed, right? There's no monsters under your bed. There's nothing in the closet. Guys, stress doesn't exist. It's a man-made concept. It's not real. When you really sit with that and get that, it has no power if you don't give it power. Yeah, it's powerless. So let that sink in for a moment and allow yourself to live a stress-free life if you can. And how about, I'm going to swear now, Michael, I'm sorry, but the itty-bitty shitty committee that's in your head, yeah? I can't do it. I'm not going to be successful this year. I don't have enough listings. I want to be a lightning rod for listings. Yeah, but you're really not. I mean, whatever this is, can we calm that chatter? Because that voice is not you, right? It can be if it's supportive and loving and kind and motivating. So recognize the voices in your head. And and choose to listen to the ones that really are going to matter. And I don't know if you guys know this, but scientifically they're proving that emotions are actually energy that sometimes gets stuck, that we store in the body, and that can cause dis-ease or disease. So let that go. Let it go. Yeah? Because it can really do a number on people. And so there's lots of different ways that you can find to let that go. It could be a personal practice. I happen to meditate. I couldn't do it at all when I started. I couldn't even sit still. It turns out I was a motion meditator. I would swim. I would run, runner's high. 5 minutes would go by, 10 minutes. Where did that time go? Many of us have been driving, right? On a road trip. We just got back from a tournament in Asheville. 20 minutes goes by. Oh my gosh, I lost myself for a moment. No, actually I found myself. I let myself be still, to be. So release these emotions that aren't serving you. Physical wellness. Okay, this is a category where I used to be in excellence and I've dropped down a few points. And so this is a priority for me. Perhaps it is for you. So I want to begin by sharing a revolutionary breakthrough discovery. Scientists have found that this practice can fundamentally, right, transform your life. So not only does it help you to live longer, it improves beauty and levels of attractiveness. It can actually prevent dementia and cancer, right? It helps us eat less. I mean, there's unbelievable things here that are now attributed to this incredible technology. Does anybody know what it is? If you know, shout it out. Somebody got it. Sleep. So let me ask you this, right? If I told you, and I've said this to my kids, it's like, something that you do a third of your life, you're not going to get any better at as you get older. In fact, you're going to get progressively worse. How does that make any sense? Doesn't make sense. And yet, sleep is a solution. We heal ourselves in our sleep, right? We're allowed into the dream state. We connect to altered levels of consciousness. Some of us would say, that's a whole nother conversation. We process thoughts. We invoke our creativity. We work through relationship trauma and drama. We get great business ideas, right? We restore our energy. Sleep is magical. And so how many of you are sleeping over 8 hours a night? Amazing. I used to think that I was a sleep expert because I fell asleep within 5 minutes. I spoke to a sleep doctor, like one of the best in the world. And I was like, oh yeah, no, sleep, great. He's like, so you fall asleep within 5 minutes? He's like, yeah. He's like, you're overexhausted. He's like, you're overtired. That's not a good thing. I was like, oh, really? So I went out and bought one of these Oura rings, yeah? This tells me how deep I'm sleeping, right? But this also is a problem for overachievers like me who are really data-centric, because then I start obsessing, compulsing over, like, am I getting enough sleep? Or, am I getting enough deep sleep or light sleep? Or what if I change this behavior or that behavior? So I've learned a few things I'm just going to share with you. You can dive way deeper into this. And inconvenient truth, yeah? Drinking alcohol substantially sabotages my sleep. I still drink. And not every night. Sugar substantially sabotages your sleep. Any coffee in the afternoon, yeah? What you do during the day really impacts what happens at night. So anyway, just want to call out one of the most important things we can do for ourselves is get some good shut-eye. Secondly, the choices that we make every day will either have a net positive or net negative impact on our health, and trust me, we'll get into this, wealth. So make good choices, yeah? And that screen that I absolutely love, that admittedly I'm completely addicted to, right, also sucks energy from me. And so I also just want to say, love Charleston, and Hall's Chop House is so good, and I love entertaining people there, and there is something to be said about mindful eating and drinking, and so I'm working on that. It's something I'm working on. I'm told I should be eating a whole plant-based diet, and I'm edging towards it, and whatever you do, do it mindfully, yeah, do it consciously, because even when you're consuming things that may not be the best for you, it's your state of mind while doing it that matters just as much. I know incredible athletes who work out every day, have the full washboard abs, look amazing. And I've watched friends die, like drop dead at like 30, 40 because the stress has been intense and they can overdo it. So we've all heard everything in moderation. That's been my theme, by the way, work it out. So that, but I just want to share, movement creates energy. Yeah, so I've also heard from incredible doctors the importance of just moving. And there's lots of opportunities to get out there and move. What matters more than anything is your life force energy. I'm going to say that again. What matters more than anything is your life force energy. How many of you have been in a room where somebody walks in and they just light it up? Yeah, you can feel the currency, the frequency that's flowing, that they're emanating, and they're glowing from the inside out. Yeah? People want to be around those kinds of people. It's good for business. It's also good for others who might need a little bit of energy. And so do the things that ultimately power up your life force energy. Mental fitness. Okay. If you believe you're right, you're right. If you believe you can't do something, you're right. How often do we quit? How often do we have self-limiting beliefs? They happen all the time in the 35,000 decisions we make in a day, whether we choose to do something or we don't choose to do something. One of the most powerful success factors I've seen as a commonality across the board with leaders and high performers, the power of belief. How many of you know this Jedi mind trick? Be, do, have. Yes? Wonderful. So one of the greatest kind of weapons in a coach's arsenal, an executive elite coach's arsenal, and now the word's getting out a little bit more, but one of the greatest weapons they've had in their arsenal is this trick. So most people operate from the standpoint of, once I have enough money, I'll then do what I really want to do, which is travel the world, and then I'll be happy, right? Whereas when you reverse that, there's an opportunity to your being in that state now. There's an opportunity, to visualize that and actually embody that now. Another example, like actual productive example. I have to make 100 sales calls today in order, like I have to make 100 calls so I can be in the doing, so that ultimately I can be a successful realtor. Okay, yes, you get to put in the work 100%, and your way of being matters. So if I'm already in the state of being where I'm like, I have to do this, no, you get to do this. Like, this is the opportunity, and your way of being while you're in the doing allows you to have the success. Does that make sense? It makes a huge difference, massive difference. So thanks to Buddha, what you think you become, what you feel you attract, what you imagine you create. Our ability here as mammals, we're the only mammal on the planet that can think of something that does not exist today and birth it into being. God-like superpowers, lowercase g. Yeah? Think about that. That's an incredible superpower that we all have. We are unlimited. And we've seen this in sports, people that imagine themselves shooting free throws. The power of visualization is not to be understated. Yeah? See yourself doing these things. Believe that you're doing these things. And you will achieve them. The other thing, too, and I used to laugh at Saturday Night Live. How many of you have seen I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me? Yeah? Sales is tough. You go out there every day and you put your heart on your sleeve and you give it your all, and sometimes it's in your favor and sometimes it's not. Be kind to yourself. Affirm your convictions. Remind yourself of how incredible you are. Yeah, we're all just children, sometimes pretending to be adults. I mean, there's some magic and there's some magic there. The other thing that's really powerful, and Bill Gates reads like a gazillion books. I mean, expanding your perspective allows you to level up your skill sets, allows you to understand the people and the world around you, allows you to be more relatable, allows you to flow in conversations, allows you to be more collaborative, allows you to be part of this collective, both at a micro and macro level. And so these are all wonderful ways to expand financial wellness. Yeah, I used to be obsessed with money. Obsessed. It was because I didn't come from it. I thought once I got it, everything would change. And it does. Just other things don't. So we all want financial security, though. I mean, this is a huge part of our wellness and our well-being. Financial wellness and well-being is really important. It's important that we have stability. It's important that we have a sense of control. And so That doesn't just come naturally. That comes from living within our budget. It means actually saving too. It means possibly putting off, impulse purchases and things like that. Not easy, and worth it. So this is me in my 20s, yeah? I couldn't wait to show off my wealth. I had to drive like the Lamborghini. And let me tell you, by the way, that isn't what it's cracked up to be, yeah? I would be rolling around and like everyone looking at you and handing, the car to the valet and, they're worried about a scratch, and it was hotter than you can imagine when you weren't on the highway. I mean, I ended up getting rid of it within a week. So be careful what you dream for. Yeah, it might not be what you're actually, really seeking. I want to share with you that it's in our human condition to want more, to want what's next, to never be satiated with what we have. And wow, are we denying ourselves an opportunity? I mean, I moved here, and this was the house that I wanted when I first got here. I mean, without question. We went to Sullivan's Island. I'm like, I'm going to get one of those big houses on the beach, and that's going to be my pad. I'm going to invite everybody over, and then everything will be okay. Remember the bead you have? Yeah. Let me tell you, I know plenty of people that own these houses, and they have plenty of issues and concerns with them. And so what's right for me might not be right for you. And so really understanding what really will be in the highest of service to people is really a gift. And you guys have that opportunity to do that in ways that go, beyond words. Because you're in a business it's not just business, it's deeply personal. I mean, I worked my you-know-what off in my 20s so I could afford to buy my first house, my dream house, and make that an actual home. And I didn't. That wasn't a house for me. I mean, that was just a house for me. I've now, since every place we've moved, made it a home. But you guys matter. I mean, a lot. And can really make a big difference. And I know we all know this. We hear in training, what have you. But, I mean, these days, ratings, reviews, social proof, referrals, I mean, you know this. It's gold. And it comes from you showing up in a wonderful way. And if it's coming through, it's because you're showing up in that way. If it's not coming through, perhaps there's some choices that we get to change so that they can go your way. Reputation is everything. How many of you guys have seen a Tesla ad? Don't raise your hands. There aren't any. Yeah, in the industry where cars are, pretty much a commodity and billions of dollars are spent on advertising, Tesla spends zero. Why? Because good news travels fast. And people that are satisfied will let other people know. And we're becoming more and more, thanks to technology, in a place where we can do that. I'm a founding advisor to a company called Tuft & Needle. Many of you might have heard Casper. They raised like $350 million. We launched at the same time they did. We bootstrapped this company. We grew it to $250 million in annual recurring revenue through reviews. And we quickly figured out something that all of you get to figure out if you don't already know it. And that is, who are your super fans? Yeah, you're like a radio station. You're sending out a signal or a frequency. There's certain people that not only tune into that, but love what you're sharing, love you, what you're about. Yeah, find those people and have those people find more of those people. It's a huge secret to success. I'm also a founding advisor to Colossal. Colossal has a colossal mission, and that is to end extinction. Yeah, we've talked about why we need to save endangered species of animals, et cetera. Nobody seems to care. Yeah, so we're going to actually start a company that's going to bring back extinct animals. Yeah, Jurassic Park style. We're bringing back the woolly mammoth. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, and we can. We can. We raised hundreds of millions of dollars within about a year and a half because other people wanted this to happen in the world too. So what is your mission? What do you stand for? I know what Tesla stands for. I don't know about Elon Musk. He kind of is. But I know there's an opportunity to stand for something. And people want to be a part of something that's bigger than just business, that stand for something beyond just themselves. Social wellness, a sense of belonging. So one of the greatest transformations that occurred in my life is when I started choosing love over fear. And I've seen many people make this choice, and it's an absolute game changer. Part of doing that also is realizing that we don't have all the answers, that we get to be supported, and finding the people that can best support you. This was one of my favorite cartoons growing up. How many of you remember the Care Bears? Yeah? Okay. So maybe I've twisted this into like the most powerful like life lesson for myself, but I just want to share with you guys, each Care Bear has a superpower. Yeah, every one of them individually gifted, like special and unique. And they wear that like on their heart like an emblem. And individually they can like share that superpower and like help transform someone else's reality. And yet what's most magical is when they actually assemble and join hands and Care Bear stare. They can absolutely transform the world around them, right? It's raining. No, now the sun comes out and rainbows, like grumpy people become happy people. I believe we're all Care Bears. I choose to see the world as Care Bears. And part of that is tapping into your superpower and sharing it freely. And the other part of that is joining forces with others doing the same. This, to me, is social wellness and well-being. Environmental. So when we moved here, I started checking out houses. And I'll just say, like, a lot like cars, it felt like a commodity. Yeah, I was rolling in and out of each house. There were some open houses, some private tours, what have you. My realtor was good, but like nothing stood out. And I'm a surprise and delight kind of guy, yeah? I want to see something just a little bit special. And so I don't know if these are good ideas and creativity. If you look at innovation and business innovation, there's efficiency and there's creativity. Creativity cannot be like understated. Creativity is amazing. So I don't know. I kind of wanted maybe there to be some aromatherapy when I walked in the house, just so I smelled like, you know, what a spa smells like, you know, a high-end hotel, you know, amazing luxury resorts that I'm used to. So I kind of have that sense of peace and calm. Maybe a little bit of music to set the mood, you know? I mean, something that could be friendly, that could cross, you know, generations, but like delight my senses. Maybe some fresh flowers on the table. Yeah, it's the little things. And it's just like knowing that she would do that to set the table for me and my family, you know, when my boys walk up, I mean, really could make a difference. And so, I don't know. I know you guys all have limitations, what have you. No, you don't. You can do anything you choose to do within reason, within reason. Rituals and routines. So this is one of the things that I really kind of like fought, because I'm a total like free will kind of guy, and I like to make choices in real time. And the more you can start to institute and institutionalize and integrate key rituals and routines in your day, the easier it is to remove a lot of the decisions that matter less. So you can free your mind and allow it to occupy the things that are truly worthy of your life force energy. And this is a wonderful book that was been written by Tim Ferriss, where he went out and interviewed the most successful people on the planet. It's called Tools of Titans, and it talks about their morning routines and their nighttime rituals. And so if that's of interest, you can check it out. But it's a big part of being a super productive, high performer in life. Airplane mode. I have some of the best thoughts, best ideas when I'm up 50,000 feet in the sky. Yeah, when I've got a bird's eye view and I can remove myself from the day-to-day details. There's a power in turning off your phone. There's a power in going in airplane mode. I can assure you that we suffer and perform less or weaker as a result of constant connectivity and this obsessive ness of always needing to be in communication. It's so vital to take a moment from the moment and pause time from time so you can actually unwind, so you can power yourself up. So when you do show up, you can show up, power up, serve in incredible ways. I know that without getting my, you know what, out in nature, I'm a fraction of who I truly am. When I allow myself to go to the beach with the boys and Christine, or I allow myself to take, you know, a moment just to like connect with my feet in the sand and allow the kind of waves to blow back and a little bit of like, you know, those positive ions from the good ocean, I nourish myself in ways that I don't think science has yet proven. So please make it a point to work this into your rituals and routines. Yeah, and when we're lost or we're confused or we're unsure or we're full of self-doubt, find yourself back in Mother Nature and watch how quickly you'll reacclimate and level up. We all saw Avatar, right? Yeah, there's some realness there. I want to invite you all to see the beauty all around you. So for so many years, I would look at other people and I'd be envious. I'd be like, oh, if I could be more like them, or, it's like the goodness that's in me is also in you, and you within me. Like the beauty I see all around me, I know I'm connected to, I know I'm a part of. When I see things on social media now where someone's celebrating, where I used to judge or, maybe be a little envious, I'm like, oh yeah, awesome. Win for team humanity. Good for you. I know how hard you've been working. You deserve that. Legitimately, I celebrate their wins as my win because I see myself beyond myself. It's a big difference, and it creates a wonderful collective. Can we breathe? Will you please breathe? Do you guys realize we're living a miracle? Do you know what the odds are for you to be born? For you to be born healthy? For you to be alive this long? It's incredible when we approach life from a place of gratitude. Everything changes around you. Everything. And right now, some of you are like, okay, well, I really want to know how I can sell better, and I can't wait for you guys to get out to the trade show where there's all these people that are looking to support you in every way. Trust me when I say, coming from a perspective of gratitude is a game changer. I've seen it persist in so many beautiful professions. And so this is interesting because it used to not rub on me, but what is it like to be a billionaire? I didn't know until I met a few. More money, more problems? Yes. Yes, it's true. And access to incredible, talent and resources, yes, that's true too. And can I let you all in on a little something, something? You're all billionaires. For you to have lived this long, most of you, there might be a few of you in the room that are a little too young, our hearts will beat over 1 billion times. Yeah, and I don't know about you, but you ask any billionaire what's the most precious thing to them, it's their time. It's their time. And so every heartbeat is an opportunity to live life with full aliveness, full wholeness, full holiness. So I would encourage you to live like a billionaire. And there's a different mindset when you kind of adapt that or really take that on. It's a different way of being that will light up, if you will, your operating system around these 8 dimensions of wellness. I used to think celebrities were cool. What would it be like to be a celebrity? Now we're hearing a lot more from celebrities on why it's not so cool to be a celebrity. And what would be the ultimate version of celebrity for me? To celebrate life every day. Yeah? How often do we work tirelessly and it's we wait and, if we get that sale, then we'll go out and celebrate and yeah, I'm the best until next week where things aren't working my way and then I suck and, can I do it again? Am I a one-time wonder? Was that 1 year just my year? Am I going to have another year? Oh dear. It's wow. Celebrate the little things. And I promise you, it's contagious. These micro celebrations build up into macro because it's creating and programming your operating system to be in a celebratory mode, to know that you're going to be accomplishing success, to recognize that your big success actually was just a sequence and series and a pattern of you putting yourself in the right places and doing the right things and making the right conscious choices. The one treasure that most of the billionaires I know haven't gifted themselves that money can't buy? Self-love. Yeah? And let me tell you something. Most of us really suck at it. I mean, it's taken me many, many years to open my heart and allow myself to actually let alone love myself. And I know that's kind of a touchy thing and a vulnerable thing, and it's an authentic thing. And the more you can allow love into your heart and really allow yourself to not only like yourself, but love yourself, the more capable you are of liking and loving others. And let me tell you something, when you approach life from a place of love and light, other people can feel that too. They want to do business with you. Yeah. They want to be around people that can share their love and light. And so I'm inviting all of you guys just to ignite, because it's what the world needs right now more than anything else. It's a big part of our interconnectedness. And let me tell you something, loneliness is a thing. I've also seen some dear friends drop who I thought were super charismatic and socially well and had a lot going for them. Yeah? It's a bit of a pandemic of its own. And so be there for yourself, but also be there for others. Together we unite. How many of you have heard about Simon's book, Finite Games, Infinite Games, or know of this concept or construct? Okay, couple. It's powerful. So finite games, I believe in competition. So there's a winner and there's a loser. I believe that I'm going to get more and you're going to get less. I believe that I'm just going to do my job and my whole life is around my job. My whole identity is my job. These are finite. These are playing finite games. The infinite games are, there are no winners or losers. We're all part of one planet, Team Earth, right? It's not just about me. It's about we. Like what I do today can ripple in eternity, knowing that I can impact and affect somebody else and their life in ways beyond my comprehension. I invite you to play infinite games. I want to just leave you all with one last thought, and that is, I'm going to come back to Cyril Matters, and I'm going to just be present to him because he's passed, and there's a lot of people who have passed who have taught me, and I'm sure have taught you many, many, many valuable lessons. We have the power and the ability in every single moment with every single choice to make a difference for ourselves and for one another. Choose wisely, my friends, and much love to all of you. I look forward to connecting with some of you after the talk and the trade show. Thank you, guys.